So it's been a few days since we spoke about the Justice League Snyder Cut, and I've been sent this tweet by a lot of different people. I don't know why some of you guys actually believe these Twitter scoopers, but we're going to entertain this idea. So it's talking about Joker being in a nightmare scene with no context, and even alluding to what the Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, is going to look like in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos at the 100,000 subscribe mark. I am giving away something that is so darn cool. So check us out on Instagram at Warstu, Twitter WarstuG. So there is a little bit of factual evidence here, but not actually coming from what Daniel RPK is actually saying. This is coming from Beyond the Trailers Grace Randolph's interview when they were talking about the Snyder Cut and how the Jared Leto's Joker is going to look different. So, how so? Leto's little scene will be part of the 4 minutes of new additional photography. And here will be road wavery, according to Snyder. I wanted to, of course, honour what had been created with him because I thought it was really cool. But I also felt like I'm not going to tell you what happens in this little scene. But there is some water has gone under the bridge between the last we saw Joker and the sort of appearance. So essentially they're getting at that the appearance is gonna be very, very different. And then what happens is we get someone called Daniel Rickman, who essentially is a Twitter influencer who sells stories on OnlyFans or Patreon or something like that. So he tweets this out, and I've like vetted it and spoke to some people behind the scenes that actually know what they're on about. And there is possibly some truth to it. Leto's Joker looks pretty cool in the nightmare scene. So is this telling us that this image that Zack Snyder has on his phone is being sent to every Twitter influencer? I'm not like joking, guys. It literally says this on his Twitter account. And then it's someone called the Moonlight Warrior who had to go on incognito mode because for some reason this person's blocked me on Twitter, which is hilarious. No idea because I don't even know who they are. Apparently someone, a freelance contributor for the Geeks Worldwide. Cool. Long hair, rugged, no tats or capped teeth. Interesting. Now, because the David Ayer cut or David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, we don't even know if that is how he looked in David Ayer's original cut. So Zack said he wanted to change it up. So it is interesting. Long hair, rugged, no tats or capped teeth. Now, if this is a future scene, you can remove tattoos, you can improve your teeth, you can get long hair. So a lot of these stuff doesn't really prove much, to be honest, because a lot of these things could actually change anyway. So it is interesting that some people are trying to describe these things, and then Daniel RPK or Daniel Rickman was also posting images of the Joker, which again could insinuate the Suicide Squad cut is coming. As we know, it's going to be, we know they already work on it due to sources. So it's interesting. A lot of you guys sent me this tweet, and I don't really know what else there is to say about it. There isn't really much to actually say about it, but the description is pretty mad based on the way that Jared Leto, or Letos as you Americans call him, even though it's Leto, it's pretty mad how he looks different. But in the nightmare scene, which I do believe we're going to be seeing a nightmare scene in one part of the Justice League, because obviously it's a 4-part mini-series for one Justice League, then there's part 2 and part 3 that will be coming at some point. I do believe the nightmare scene is going to play a big part going forward, as we got the nightmare scene in, you know, obviously the movie with the dark side of Mega beams on the floor and Earth being destroyed. We know Justice League 2 is big on, like, you know, Darkseid coming to Earth and destroying everything, and essentially it will essentially be a big fight on Ground Zero, which is going to be Earth. So it is interesting going forward what actually prospectively could happen. And then also, I keep getting asked this. Obviously, I do Instagram stories every day at Warstu if you want to get involved. Is a lot of people are like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds is too busy to do, like, you know, Snyder Cut Part 1, Justice League Part 1. Now, rumoredly, he was too busy. You know, Ryan Reynolds' variation of Green Lantern, which, you know, done by Mark Guggenheim, he was involved with it, the person behind Arrow, so he has got a lot of good stuff. But the rumor going around the internet now is that Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is going to appear in the second Justice League as Hal Jordan. But if you've been following everything online from reputable sources and reputable Twitter influencers, it's pretty clear that there already is going to be a Hal Jordan scene in this movie, because everything Zack wanted to originally shot, he shot. So I don't really get where this Green Lantern scene keeps coming back up, because it's like, he shot something with a Green Lantern. I'm not saying who it is or who it isn't, but why does the Ryan Reynolds storyline keep reappearing every single time? Now, I don't know why it keeps reappearing, but it did, I guess, originate from Miss Grace Randolph from Beyond the Trailer, and she somewhat does have some sources. Obviously, she's had Zack Snyder's interview twice that both somewhat went viral, so she does have obviously some credibility. But at the same time, it doesn't mean everything Grace Randolph says about the Snyder Cut is true, because she was on the fence that Green Lantern was going to be Ryan Reynolds, like announcement imminent, and then obviously then she backs off and it didn't happen at all. And like the same thing with everything, she's definitely got somewhat of sources, potentially. People don't always get everything right. So to say that Ryan Reynolds is going to be in Justice League 2 now to fit an agenda is interesting. Now, I don't even know where this alleged rumor started from, but I wanted to see what you guys thought about the whole Ryan Reynolds is now going to be in part 2, but Zack Snyder did say no compromise. So if he was to do part 2 and part 3, it would be his version with no compromisation. And the fact that Ryan Reynolds is playing, you know, Wade Wilson Deadpool, can he really do Marvel and DC at the same time? Because there's a conspiracy theory online that you can't actually be in Marvel and DC at the same time, but you can, because J.K. Simmons has done it and other people. So it is interesting. So, and then there's a post here dating the 20th to clarify Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut. There was a Green Lantern scene with Batman where the Batman half was already shot. There were talks of completing the scene, maybe with Ryan Reynolds. It didn't pan out, so no current Green Lantern in this movie. You're getting a ton of other cool stuff. So it's cool that everyone takes what Grace Randolph says at face value. But this Batman scene with Green Lantern, we all knew about it. There was multiple viral videos that, you know, came out at that time. It doesn't really mean anything, because until the movie comes out, no one knows what's going on here. Like I say, Grace has got some credibility, but to clarify that, you know, Ryan Reynolds was everywhere and now he's too busy and now, you know, it's going to be Justice League 2, it's interesting. And she went on to say, as far as Green Lantern, I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds is unfortunately just too busy, so no Green Lantern in Snyder Cut, but another hero will fill that spot. But it's all good. Ryan has been really supportive. We continue to stand Ryan and Zack Hollywood Maverick. So essentially she's backtracking. Now, I don't actually know if that initial story came from her. I mean, I did look for it. I couldn't really find it anywhere. I'm talking about the origin of the conspiracy theory that Ryan Reynolds will be playing Green Lantern in Justice League 2. So at this moment, based on these tweets and based on what Daniel Rickman is saying and this other person, they're trying to tell you that Jared Leto's Joker is going to be in a nightmare scene, and everyone else seems to think that Deathstroke scene is a nightmare-based scene because it's black and white image. It's just going to be very interesting, because it seems like, what, a 4-minute nightmare scene? I don't really think that's going to be the case here. So I am quite interested. Like I keep saying, guys, I will only do Justice League videos when you guys hound me and when you guys actually ask me to cover this kind of stuff. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe and comment. Check me out on Instagram at Warstu, Twitter, WarstuG. I know we'll catch you in that next video very soon. Catch ya later.